That leads me to my next question. What do you think are the few technology changes which will have the ability to radically transform how companies bring the drug to the market once a discovery has been done, patent has been filed?
Yeah. I think it would be worth putting in the context of what is their challenges, so
Sure.
to see what is that's going to help them, because as you very well know, because you played a key part in the vaccine, in bringing vaccines to market as a service provider to, they're one of the successful companies in bringing vaccines to the market very quickly. So we are seeing for the first time unprecedented speed.
Sure.
And if you look at it closer, you're going to see that the way they collaborated among the healthcare industry,
Sure.
the way that they collaborated with the FDA.
The regulators across the world, that was
Yes.
very impressive. Yeah.
And how they engaged their own employees and their vendors was in a very different way than ever did before. So what has happened is that has raised the bar on people's expectations of how long it should take for a therapy to come to market. And this is, I hope it is, but I don't think it is going to be the last need for this kind of response. And so the expectations in the market and from in healthcare has changed. And then they're coming the real world of pharmaceutical companies now have to deal with geopolitics, supply chain, limitations, fraud, cybersecurity, and privacy are becoming extremely important. You're going to see more and more threat and more laws in legal requirements for privacy. And to kind of add to the top of it, they're dealing with inflation. And most importantly, they're dealing with a new way of working.
Correct.
That will require for them to really rethink how they operate. And so it will require a transformation. So to your question, so what is there to help them? So on the scientific side, there are some bright, opportunities, because now there are new modalities for treatment. So you're seeing cell therapies, you're seeing DNA, RNA for vaccines. So there is a broad, science and technologies, pharmaceutical technology. And then on our side, let's say on the pure technologies, that we have technologies like blockchain and smart machines, including 3D printing. We are seeing now the availability of big data and all the different modules of artificial intelligence, because you have everything from machine learning to natural language processing, of course, and all the components of AI. And one of the reasons that the time has come to bring that kind of knowledge and information is because we have tremendous digital connectivity and also tremendous computational capability with the cloud and distributed computing. So you can see the challenges, but there is now a new technology, and the time has come. These were technologies that for a while we thought it would be the future, and we never knew when that time would come.
Sure.
The time has come. We even talk about metaverse. So we're starting to really bring the future to the present. So there are always opportunities. I mean, every challenge is actually an opportunity. And technology will play a key role in pharma's ability to move to the next stage of where they need to be.
Interesting. What are your thoughts on wearables and their impact on clinical trials, especially given the pervasive nature of data which might be available? It's still early days, obviously, the kind of devices we have.
So I think you're going to see a true transformation on how they run clinical trials for two reasons. First of all, that is a high cost operation. This is where most of their cost goes. And there's really real opportunity now. And the way they design protocols, the way they choose sites, the way they choose the right patients to participate, and all of that, actually, all these improvements can happen with big data and AI. And on top of it, now you're seeing what COVID has also taught us is that interfacing with a doctor doesn't have to be face-to-face anymore. And so we're bringing all this digital technology, whether it's wearables or not, it doesn't matter, but the technology you can use remotely. You can transfer the data where the data needs to be. And so you can have now virtual clinical trials. And what it will do is that it will increase the richness of the clinical trials, because people don't have to travel to 5 hospitals. They can participate in a clinical trial in many locations. And so you're going to see more engagement of doctors beyond the central large cities, as well as the more representative population for the clinical trials that they will run.
This also, I'm assuming, plays back into the whole real-world data part we were talking about, right? The same data sets obviously get combined with the real-world data sets and have multiple users.
Real-world data and big data, because the thing is, as I said, all the different sources of data, they're going to play a role on the commercial side. So we talked about the R&D. And R&D now, understanding the patient and understanding the disease. Now on the commercial side, understanding the customer.
Correct.
And being able to communicate and provide the information that matters to them in a timely way, the way that you are collaborating to be able to improve outcomes, and you're going to see more and more contracts based on outcomes rather than the label. So huge opportunity on insights and the combination of digital technology, wearables, and different digital technology to improve outcomes. And also, using data to do better forecasting, better planning. So I think it's going to be used everywhere from finance to HR, definitely for manufacturing. I mean, inventory is planning and also availability and tracking, especially in medical devices. So I don't think there's any place in a company that there's no value. Again, it's not as simple as it seems. There are tremendous pitfalls and risks. There is a potential to waste an enormous amount of money, because data sciences requires, what it says, it's the data. So knowing what is the relevant data and knowing what's the question to ask.
Okay.
So the scientific insight of what is the real question that you want to ask and knowing what's the relevant data to that is critical.
Okay.
So if it's not just an IT or an engineering discipline, it's not just simply a scientific discipline, it combines both. And there will be a lot of companies that will waste a lot of their money because
wild goose chase.
They will be looking for signals rather than knowing what they are looking for.
That's so true.